as we have already discussed, that we are going to go into a little more detail about different aspects of Omnet++ IDE. We have already seen what network description language is and how it helps us to create a topology called the network, and within that network we can declare simple modules and define compound modules. It is about time that we go into a little more detail of NED language. In this module, we shall cover the aspects of NED language from the object-oriented perspective, which actually have resulted into the immense flexibility and reusability that we subsequently use for simulations. We shall look at the particular aspects of Omnet++ NED support by looking at the concepts of inheritance, its support, the interfacing, the packaging, and the inner types. NED language supports inheritance. That is, the modules and the channels which are offered in Omnet++ as C++ libraries can be extended and subclassed. So whenever there is a subclass which is created from the parent class, it can add its own set of parameters and gates. Likewise, for the compound modules, new submodules can be inserted within a compound module, and new connections between these submodules can also be defined. Let's look at two examples. The first example deals with the simple module, in which we have a generic TCP/IP client application. As we all know, TCP sits at the transport layer. It can actually service a variety of applications on the application layer. So, when we extend using inheritance a TCP client application, we can give it a specific job. For example, we can call it FTP client application, or similarly HTTP client application. As far as an example for compound module is concerned, let's look at the compound module which is given to us and we want to inherit it. If it is a base host, the base host provides basic functionality of a standard host. Now, if we want to extend it, say for a web client application, that is a browser support for browsing on HTTP, we shall inherit the base class and we will extend it using the web client application. The next important feature of NED language that makes it so flexible is the ability to instantiate the interface. So modules and channel interfaces can actually be used as mere placeholders. Instead of defining a module or channel type, it is placed as a placeholder. This placeholder can be told to behave in a certain way at runtime. A very interesting example of a mobile host as a compound module is given here, where we have iMobility as the mobility feature of a compound class or a compound module. Here, at the design time, we do not exactly declare what specifically it does. Instead, we keep it flexible. It is only the runtime when we declare it to behave in a certain way. For example, it could either demonstrate constant speed mobility or it could be random waypoint mobility. So, either of the two mobility models are exhibited depending upon what is told to the compound module at the runtime. Another important feature of NED language is its ability to package the projects. So when we package a certain project, it helps us to alleviate certain problems which are specific to programming in very large environment. For example, when name clashes appear, it becomes very hard to which names are being used at certain other places. So, packaging allows us to address the name clashes between different simulation models. And packaging also allows us the flexibility to determine which NED files are to be used in a certain simulation model. As an example, let's look at a package. In this particular package, we see that the simulation project is called book, and within that project, there is a folder called simulations. So the NED files which are related to this particular project are placed in such a hierarchical way. So it means if you're using another project called notes, we can have another simulations folder within that package called notes.